What is going on, prosperity practitioner? Brandon Hanley here, the voice of a generation. Voice of a generation, a carryover from the Fatherhood for the Rest of Us podcast, which if fatherhood's your game and parenting and you want to see a little bit more of what else I do outside of simply the prosperity practice, head on over and check that out if you're so inclined. And you can get to know me quite a bit more. I think hundreds of podcasts over there. And probably over 100 interviews on there as well. Never really taken the time to count them out. But that's where I cut my teeth on creating the podcast and just really leaning into this mindset where I focus on family first, and family does come first for me, and being with my family and enjoying them. And that's personally where I find my prosperity, is just enjoying that time. And that's something that I did a little earlier today. It was just, probably about, 4-hour round trip to go see some friends and family members for a graduation. But I just enjoy seeing the family and seeing how everybody's doing, and seeing my kids interact, seeing my wife interact, and interacting again with my family. And that just brings me joy. A little bit there for you today. Today we're doing another quote. And today's quote is going to be from William Scott Downey. This one's pretty obvious, and let me share this with you, and let's talk about it for a second. Prosperity gathers smiles while adversity scatters them. Prosperity gathers smiles while adversity scatters them. This is something that may take a little bit to overcome or think about. See, when we're commiserating, right? When we're maybe not having the best day, we feel like we need to share that for some reason. We feel like we need to let people know we're just not having a great day. But you ever notice that when you're sharing these challenges, that just as rapidly turns the other person around to be like, oh, me too. I've got these challenges too. And then you focus on these challenges and you focus on all these hardships and all this blah. How many people want to spend their time feeling that way or looking that way? And prosperity, it says here, prosperity gathers smiles. And so while adversity scatters them. So when we're always talking about these challenges, have you ever been around somebody that's just nothing is ever going right? Nothing's ever going well. It makes me crazy. That doesn't make me crazy. I don't want to be around somebody where nothing's ever going right. It's like, what? It's like a plague. It's like a plague with that person or those people. It's just like, hey, because you want to talk to them, like, well, what have you done to try and fix it? Oh, I can't fix it. I can't because of, all these exterior circumstances, right? They can't do it because of money. They can't do it because of time. They can't do it because of the space. They can't do it because of the weather. They can't. All of these reasons they can't do something to make their life better. All of them. There's not one thing that they can do to improve it. So, who wants to spend time with that person, right? Who if that's all the time, right? Like, I'm not saying you can't vent every once in a while, and I'm not saying you can't come to people with problems, but come to people with problems if you're willing to work on them, right? And I think that when you face your challenges, when you tackle your challenges, you convert that into prosperity. And that's why it says, prosperity gathers smiles, right? If somebody sees you going through a hard time, if you're going through a hard time and you're willing to accept help from somebody else, you don't necessarily have to get help from somebody, but if somebody sees you take your challenges on and get past them, you learn lessons, you gain new muscle, you gain all types of things, and yet people are going to smile because now you're being prosperous. It's not necessarily, again, guys, when we're talking about prosperity, we're not talking about this just being rich and having money in your pocket and all these other things. We're talking about being, overcoming adversity. Overcoming adversity is just so beautiful to see. And when other people see that you're overcoming that, they're seeing that you're being prosperous, and that is something they can come around and lift you up and cheer you on when that's something that you're willing to do for yourself, and if you're willing to help others. And again, so prosperity gathers smiles while adversity scatters them. That one is from William Scott Downey. Guys, if you're enjoying these podcasts, if you're enjoying these videos, please go ahead and hit the like button. If you're listening on iTunes, head on over to iTunes, leave a rating and review. If you're liking this on Facebook, leave a, smash those heart buttons and, share it with your friends and let other people know where they can come to be inspired to take on or review or inquire about how they can have more prosperity in their lives, because that is the practice that we are in right now. We are practicing prosperity. Thanks.